Let us see now the event hub in action. So we are going to write a C# program which will behave like an event producer, producing a batch of events and putting them all into event hub. As discussed earlier, event hub is going to have multiple partitions between which the event will be distributed. And from here, the event will go into the consumer group. And it is from this consumer group my receiver application is going to process it. It will have its own logic. So in C# to make this whole job easy, we have got event processor interface, which will do most of the job for us. So first thing we'll have to do is create an event hub. And you actually don't create an event hub. Like in service bus also, we don't directly create a queue or topic. We first create a namespace. Here also we are supposed to create an event hub namespace. And you see here servicebus.windows.net. That means the infrastructure of service bus only. So I'll create a resource group. Put some name. Event hub namespace. The region selected supports availability zone. So automatically it has enabled availability zone for it. You can go for based on the requirement, how many consumer groups you want. If it is basic, only one consumer group, the default consumer group will be supported. Whereas here 20 consumer groups. Let's take this, though it is little costlier. And then we have got, of course, premium, which has 100 consumer groups, 10K brokered connections, simultaneous connections. But we are going with standard pricing tier. You will see the comparison. Here you see per million, this is price 0.028 per million of events. Here also the same thing. Whereas premium, ingress events just included, any number is okay. Retention is for 90 days. Whereas here the message retention is only for 7 days. Remember, that's the difference. There is a capture also facility here. But here capture price is extra. $73 per month. What is this capture? I'll explain to you. 100 brokered connection, 1000 broker connection, 10K brokered connections. So these are the varying factors. You see the difference in cost also. So thresholds are removed here. That's the benefit. But it's quite expensive. Approximately $750 per month per PU. I think that is some throughput unit if I am not wrong. This should be per unit. Yeah, throughput unit. It's premium unit. Maybe the pricing is slightly different. Here you see throughput unit. Maybe if I change this, it's processing unit. Instead of throughput unit, it's calling it as processing unit. But I'm changing it back to standard, which is good enough. Now what is this throughput unit? I already explained to you, right? It can go from 1 to 40 now. Wow. Earlier it was 20. Now it has changed from 1 to 40. So we can change here 40. Up to 40 MB per second you can process, or 40,000 events. Maybe basic has the limitation. No, even basic goes up to 40. Good. Enable auto inflate. I told you, automatically throughput would increase if sudden surge happens in your traffic, exceeds the capacity. And you can control the inflate from this much to what extent. Of course, I am keeping it minimum. I will not reach this. We are not going to write an application which will produce so many millions of events per second which we want to handle. So I am okay with whatever. Inflate also is not needed for demo purpose. But yeah, auto inflate is also available, and you can specify the range in which automatically the throughput is going to inflate without leading to throttling. Otherwise events will be lost. And that's it. This is only to create something is missing. Oh, I have given policy. Some policy I have given. Forget about this. This is not relevant. Create. So event hub will get created. So what we created now is a event hub namespace. Under this event hub namespace, we have to create an event hub. Give a name. Partition count. I told you you can go up to 32. More partition, more parallel processing. Message retention up to 7 days. That is because we have taken standard. So 7 days your message is going to be retained. You can set the retention period. This is retention period for events, messages. Now in addition to this 7 days of retention, you can also enable capture, wherein you can specify the time window and size window. I told you, right? We can do the capturing of event, limited length or volume. Now what is this capturing? Now whatever events are coming into Event Hub, all of them are going to be saved in this particular storage account. We don't have a storage account, so we'll need to create one. I'll create one storage account in a new tab. Let's create a storage account. Some tag. Though I deleted that policy, it's not applying immediately. It's taking time. Click on create. So I'm creating a storage account now, in which I'm going to have a container, and that container is the place where the files are going to be saved, which will contain the archived messages, events. We are interchangeably using messages and events. Don't really worry much about it. So here you see we have to give the storage account and the container also. So first we'll wait for the storage account to get created. And now create a container. Event hub. Go here, select a container. So in this we are going to have files getting created automatically. Now what should be the name of those files? Basically it's capturing, and that capture is going to create files in this particular format. Namespace, event hub, partition ID, year, month, day, hour, minute, second. This is all used for framing a name for the file. You can play, you can move this left and right if you want. It's just a format. One of these you can use. I'm okay with the default one, whatever it is. I'm not changing this. And then say create. So here, what is this time window and size window? Every 5 minutes, if I leave it as it is, every 5 minutes, one file will get created. That's the meaning of it. I'm changing it to every 1 minute. Or within that 1 minute, if 300 MB of data has come, then also the file will get created. So max size of the file will be 300 MB. I can change it to probably say 100 MB. So if 100 MB happens within 1 minute, imagine in 30 seconds only 100 MB of data has come, imagine. Then the file will get created by that 100 MB of data. I'm putting a check mark here. Do not emit empty files when no events occur during capture time window. So basically your storage account is capturing events from Event Hub, either at a frequency of 1 minute or total 100 MB, whichever is first. And for every capture, one file will be created in the specified container. So that's the meaning of capture. So yes, with 2 partitions, our event hub will get created. Let it go on in the background. I'm going to write an application now, a .NET application. Using which I'm going to post the messages into the event hub. New project. And let's take console application, a simple console based application. Event hub producer. A simple console based application we are creating. Like that, I will also have Event Hub consumer, and maybe for demo purpose we might put 2 consumers. I'm adding one more consumer. Now in both consumer application and of course producer, we have to add some NuGet packages. All this I have explained to you. What is partition count, what is message retention, and we have enabled capture. It's called as first wins policy, whether time comes first or the size reaches first. The messages which are saved are in Avro format, AVRO. It's a special format, and there are many Avro readers also which can read those messages which are part of the Event Hub. You can also use Storage Explorer. So I have to explain this program to you. This is for sending message. But for this, as I said, we need a NuGet package, azure.messaging.event-hub. That's the latest. Right click, manage NuGet package, browse, event-hub. Actually, we need that. In consumer also we will need this. So solution, manage NuGet, browse. I'll need in all the three. And event processing we will need in consumers. This is needed only in consumer. We don't need it in the producer. So here I have put only one producer, but as I said, you can definitely have n number of producers, different varieties of applications, and all can post messages in the same event. So now we need the event hub namespace connection string and event hub name. Event hub name is demo event hub. That's what I gave here. This is the event hub name. Copy this, put it in the code. Oh, where did I copy the code? In the producer. Demo event hub. And where do I get the connection string from? Shared access policy. Same like service bus. Get the connection string. Primary or secondary, doesn't matter. The code is quite simple and straightforward. We are creating an event hub producer client. Creating a batch. Into the batch, I'm adding multiple event data object. Event data object requires a binary data. You see there, read only memory byte. Basically, it's binary data. Byte array we can pass. It's overloaded. So here we are taking the string, and from string I'm converting to bytes and posting it. String is converted to bytes. Byte is added to event data, and event data is added to the batch, and a batch is posted here. Now I put a while loop. Every time it is executing the while loop, a batch of 3 events it is posting. And here I have intentionally put read line. We can actually remove that. Continuously it will keep posting events into the event hub. For demo purpose I have paused it. So let's run this. I'll go to solution properties, current selection, whichever is the project selected, that is going to run now. Next batch, next batch, next batch, next batch. Are these messages lost? Definitely not. These messages are not lost. All these messages are going to be retained by Event Hub for up to 7 days. Or if the capacity of the Event Hub has been reached, the most recent will be retained. What has come first, those will be exited. They are not going into archive at this point of time. Remember that also. These are not captured yet. They are in Event Hub itself, which has to be used by the consumer. So let's write code in consumer and consume it. It's pretty straightforward, right? In a while loop, we are creating a batch. You might decide to put only one event in a batch. It's okay. You can do that. The send message requires batch. That batch has to be passed. So you can actually start seeing here the graph, the event hub. The messages have started coming. Now let's write the receiver, the consumer. Now for consumer, the major challenge is what? Everything is coming as a stream. So consumer application challenge is, when should it start reading the stream? When should it end reading the stream? And treat that whole unit as one string. It's a binary data which is coming. The binary has to be converted to string and then interpreted. So for doing all that, we have got built-in, for developers' convenience, we have got a built-in 𝗖 event processor. So that 𝗖 event processor is what we are going to use here. Let's copy this code. I'll explain to you. But also one more thing we need to keep in mind. The 𝗖 event processor would require a storage account to remember till where it has already processed the event. That we have to provide here. In addition to the event hub connection string and event hub name, which we took it from here, in addition to these two, I also need a storage connection string. Storage connection string and a blob container in which the state of up to where it has saved is going to be given to us. So I'll create here state container. So I'll take the access key. Basically connection string is what we need. Put that here. And the container name, I called it as state. Now what is happening here? We are having only one consumer group, default consumer group. So all the data will come into the default consumer group. From default consumer group, we are creating event processor client. So in the storage client, it is going to save the state. Consumer group is used for consuming the events from this particular event hub and this particular, this is the connection string and this event hub. And of course, we are attaching the handlers here. Process event handler, process error handler. Same like what we did for service bus and topics. And when you call start processing, the events will start processing one by one. Unless I press enter, it will not stop. And when I press enter, it will stop processing. And in the process, actually this is where we are supposed to write the logic for execution. But what I am doing is only taking the data, converting it into byte array. From byte array, we are now getting back string and we are appending it here. That's it. Update checkpoint, this is important. One message has been read. So internally the 𝗖 processor is maintaining one pointer. That pointer has to keep on incrementing, because next time when this processor event handler method is called, it should start reading from there only. So there is a lot of complicated logic which is internally built in. You don't have to take care of. You don't have to take care of remembering from where did you start, where did you end, how much is the total byte of one message. You don't have to do all that. That is being taken care by the 𝗖 event processor internally. You just need to use the processor event processor client, and that's doing the job for us. If any event is there, we are getting the partition ID, printing so and so error is there, completed task. So now I run this. Immediately the first 4 or 5 batches which I have sent, they'll be picked up and printed. All batches. How many? 4, 5 batches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the 5 batch data has come. Press here enter. Instant. As soon as you are publishing, from here it's going to Event Hub, and from Event Hub it's coming here. Beauty. So event ingestion and receiver. But right now this receiver is on what? This receiver is on default. So let's create a copy of this project. Event Hub 2, paste here. This consumer group name, I'll change it. Consumer 2. That's it. So will it get events from scratch if I run this now? Yes, because the events are all there in the Event Hub. All those things will come. Multiple batches. Could not found. Okay. Here what we have to do is, it's a different consumer. So I will use a different container. We cannot use the same container. So let's create a separate container for it. See, first one is here. Something is there. Not sure what was the error. I didn't read it properly. I should have read the error. Anyways, let's run this again. Partition 0 unhandled exception. This was not expected to happen. Consumer 2 could not be found. Consumer 2, C lowercase. Is that the error? Not sure. The reason why we are getting this particular exception is I have given here the consumer group name in my code. But I did not give, I undo the text, oh, sorry. I gave consumer 2 here, but I did not create the consumer group at all. So you should go to your event hub. Under event hub, you have to create a consumer group, which I haven't done. That is the reason we were getting the exception. So like subscribers are created, consumer groups have to be created. So now we have 2 consumer groups. One is the default consumer group and the other is the custom consumer group. So let's stop this, and now let's run this. From scratch, if you look at this, the first event was at 7/17/39. The first event is also there. What I am trying to say is that so consumer group is a view. So now I have this consumer group. I have this consumer group. Now I press enter. Both the places it will be consumed. Instant. So that is the importance of consumer group, and that you have to remember even for the certification exam. People ask these questions in the interview also. What is the importance of consumer group in Event Hub? Each consumer group is supposed to have a separate offset from where it is going to perform the read, and each consumer group behaves like a subscriber. Separate view of events are going to be received by that particular consumer group. So now what will happen if I go here and to the storage account, let us say, and in storage account I delete the files which are created. Default and consumer 2. Imagine I delete default. Checkpoint, and I delete. It will again start from scratch. Stop this. Stop this. And run. Again it will start from scratch, because the checkpoint got deleted. No, something more is there. We have some ownership also. Let's delete this too. We don't know where it is storing, right? That is a problem. Again it started 10/17. So this checkpoint is very important so that it remembers from where it is. So can I say by resetting the checkpoint, We are able to replay the events in the Event Hub. Replay of events is possible in Event Hub, which is not possible in topics and queues, or even event grid. The replay is not possible. Replaying of events is only possible in Event Hub. Very important statement. And one more thing I would like to show you. We were doing capture. So go to the storage account. Under container, we were capturing it here. All the files will be there here. Namespace, Event Hub name, partition, year, month, date, Avro. Go to this file and download it. There are some Avro readers online. It's a special format actually. Upload your Avro file. I have it in my downloads folder. And you see, it has given me the message. This is the format in which the data is saved in binary format. This is one Avro message. Sequence number. Every message will have a sequence number. Offset 72, 136. This is offset. So it starts with 0 and reads up to 72. And this is the body, binary data. Encrypted, that is. So that's Avro reader. What I'm just trying to show you is, in a specific format the data is captured. So let's say after 1 month you want to process the messages. Will you be able to? Yes, you have a storage account, and in storage account all your files are present, and in the files the events are present. You just need to replay those events and you will achieve whatever you want. So logic has to be written, code has to be written, that's okay. But I'm just telling you the feasibility of all these things. So much feasible. So that is the advantage of Event Hub over Event Grid or the corresponding publisher, subscriber, topic and consumer, topic and subscription. So I just replicated the processor logic and I only changed the name. But if I change the name, also take care of creating the consumer group in portal. So multiple consumer groups can be created for the same Event Hub. So this is how one can program Event Hub. I have done in C#. It's not going to be different in Java or any other language. It's almost going to be the same steps there also. So that's all in this session. Thank you.